Welcome to Worship Artistry, I'm Nick. Today we're looking at my 2024 pedal board. This thing is always changing if you follow me on Instagram, mainly just like the drives and stuff because I love just trying different flavors. But when I'm gonna go play live at like church or anything like that, this is kind of the setup I'm always gonna go to. I know what these things sound like, I know what they do, I know how they interact with one another, and I really like them. Every once in a while I'll change out this JHS Kilt for, what is it, the Katana by Keeley, and then I'll change out this for like, I don't know, the Revv G2 or like the Walrus Audio Voyager that I have. I really like those. But these two guys right here are always staying. The Tilt Boost, I absolutely love that. And then this Opaque drive by Substation Onyx. It's a friend of mine, he made it. Honestly, it's one of the most versatile overdrives I've ever used. I really like it. Pairs well with just about anything I've put at it. Well, actually, all things that I've put with it. I mean, you can see I have, you know, this big old computer thing here, this H90, a big reverb here by Universal Audio, and then this Blackhole by Eventide. You'd say, why do you have a Blackhole when you have an H90? You can just do that. Well, I am just a huge fan of the Blackhole. Like, you gotta understand, years ago, I had this PT Pro. It was like as big as this table, and it probably weighed more than this table, and I had just about everything Eventide on it. I loved the space, and I loved the time factor, and this thing does all of those things. But I just really want this always. I love this sound. I'll go through it. I use only really 2 sounds in it, but I'll go through that here in a little bit. But yeah, basically just talking about this board. This is a PT2. It's a classic 2 or whatever, pedaltrain. I really just enjoy the size. I really want to try a creation board, one of the new ones. I think it's like a 16 by like 32 or something like that. Just a little bit bigger, have another like row so I could do a few more pedals. It's not like I need any more, but it's fun to have them on there, you know, just getting creative, trying to play around with some sounds and seeing what we can come up with. I don't just like limit myself to only worship music when I play. I do a lot of rock, and a lot of people think that, you know, that's all I do, but no, I do all kinds of things, and I like to do all kinds of different sounds with that, and having more options sometimes helps get those sounds. I'm running True Tone pedal power. I had the CS12 on here, and initially that's all I wanted because I didn't want this many pedals on here, but then I needed something else because I ended up getting more pedals because I think, you know, we've all said, oh, after this one, I'm done. Yeah, I've said that about 1,000 times probably now. So I had to end up getting another CS6, and at the time, I didn't really know much about Strymon's pedal power, and I kind of wish I would have went that route. This pedal power is totally fine. This power is great. Never had an issue with it, but plugging in 2 cables kind of stinks. Gets me a lot of this stuff, and I got to get another power thing to power the H90. But you know what? This works. No one has ever said anything. No one's been like, "Whoa!" I mean, worship was really great today, but you weren't using the right power. What? You know? But like, no, it works. It works just fine. But I do wish that I had the Strymon power. Makes it just a little bit more convenient. You know, you can jump them or whatever. Here's the signal chain, the order of the pedal board here, starting with this Wampler Mini Ego. I really enjoy this thing. I like it because you don't have too many options. Honestly, if I were going to get a new compressor, if this one ever dies, I would get the Universal Audio 1176. I was playing around with that, and that thing was amazing. It sounded excellent, but this one does a fine job. I really like the blend, and yeah, it does what I like. And then it goes right into, you know, my volume pedal here, and then out of the volume pedal it has, you know, for the tuner, which is the Polytune Noir by TC Electronics. I've just really like the size. I like it. Tunes just fine. And then going out of that, we have the Tilt Boost. And out of the tilt boost, we go into the opaque drive, and then from the opaque drive, we go into the Chatbreaker into the Kilt, and then the Kilt goes into the MXR Tremolo, and then the Tremolo goes right into the Julianna chorus by Walrus Audio into the H90, and that's where my my stereo starts, right here out of the chorus. Goes stereo into the H90 and then into the Blackhole and then the golden reverberator. I often switch this reverb out for something called a cortado. It's by Coffee Shop Pedals. It does a bunch of presets as well. What do you say we kind of go through some of the sounds? So I'm playing this American Fender Ultra 2 with Blondies by Lambertones in it, and I'm playing through these two Revv D20s. I absolutely love them. That's one of like the core, like this setup right here, Lambertones and my Revs. If this was any other brand, I wouldn't care. It's just the way, I love the way this feels. But when I switched out the Fender pickups for these Lambertones, it really came alive. And then plugging into these D20s, it's just it's really the core of my sound. If you wanted to know, here's how the tuner works. Yeah. Can you believe it? Wow. Nearly there. And that is how the tuner works. Moving on. Here is the core kind of sound. I always have the compressor on and I always have a little bit of reverb on, so that's what you're gonna hear. Sorry if you don't like it, but here is the bridge position. I'll go through all of them with these Lambertones, and here it is. It's just a really good all-purpose clean tone, I think. It takes pedals very well, these amps, and then I just kind of, juice them up with this kind of concoction I got going on. But yeah, let's hear the tilt boost. Actually, I'll play it. I'll just kind of go with my bridge position. The tilt boost is how I have it usually set right now. I'm not gonna this isn't a review of all of these pedals. I'm not gonna go like a bunch. I'll give you some sounds, stuff like that. But this one, I basically only play it like this and just adjust the tilt EQ side of it for like what pickups I have or whatever. So here it is, bass tone, and then kicking it on. The more you turn it this way, the more bass you're gonna have, the less highs. The more you turn it this way, the more highs you'll have, less bass you have. So it's kind of balanced here, but it is kind of like leaning towards the highs. And then right here, I barely have it boosting the actual amp signal, as you heard. It just fills it out a little bit. It kind of pushes some of the highs in a nicer way, I think, that really, I leave it always on with my pedals. But then going into this thing called the Opaque drive, it has a silver side and a gold side. A lot of people ask me about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I read the manual. I don't remember it. I just know I love the way this sounds. And there's two sounds on the silver. It has attack here and then classic in the middle. Attack is like very treble. I don't know, it's not a treble boost, but it just has a lot more treble in it, and it does some like really, really cool things like, well, just let me show you. Yeah, it just has that really kind of like squishy, trebly kind of sound. I really like that. And then if I turn on the gold side, if I only have the attack on the silver engaged, I'll turn the gold side on. I typically leave it on the boost. I don't know. I like the sound of it. I'll play a couple things and turn it on. I don't know. I mean, I like that, but another way I use it is on the classic side. It's gonna sound very dull now, just because of how like bright and just I don't know, like the compression of it. I really love it, that attack thing. So here's the silver side again. Yeah, I think it's neat. And then the gold side, if I do want to use that, I really actually like the hard clipping, and with the gain at about noon. Like it does this, I don't know, it does this thing to the tone. It's just like, just real thick sounding. I like it for leads. I think it's nice. It's just really cool. With the bridge pickup, it gets very creamy. It's neat. It's nice. Moving on. So the Chatbreaker, I love the Chatbreaker boosted with the tilt boost. Again, I usually always have it on. Let me show you what the Chatbreaker sounds by itself. Here's bass, and I'll kick it on. It's nice, but then here it is with the tilt. So here it is without. It's just really nice, really full. I like to engage this for some leads as well. And not just the gold, but sometimes both of them, and it gets super saturated and it sounds so nice. Moving on to the Kilt by JHS. It's a Stu G signature pedal. He definitely knows what he's talking about. This thing rules. So right now I kind of have it just like a light overdrive, but it does so many things. So here it is, my bass tone, and then I'll kick this on. That's nice, I think. If I were to engage the G2 switch here, sometimes I have the red remote connected to this, and it gets this nice spitty fuzz. You can turn on the G1 switch as well, and that gets you like more distortion. But I really like it with like the lighter kind of clipping with the fuzz kind of, it's like a spitty fuzz. It's kind of nice. I don't use it for a lot of things, but it's cool. It's nice. It's nice. All right. Since I know you're asking, but you probably have heard this, but you've not heard me play it maybe, I'll kick on the more distortion. It's cool. Stu G knows what's up. All right, so moving on, we have the MXR Tremolo. I really only use it for harmonic trem, and unless these knobs got messed up, you'll see that it's actually not very like deep. It's not very in the mix. I have it always on sometimes because it's an accident because it's so low. But I really like it. Just adds like this chewy kind of texture to the like lead lines and other things. I don't do big chords with it usually. It's like, it's weird, but it's kind of, I like it during a solo. But here we go, I'll show you both. I mean, obviously you can hear it, it's the only thing on, but in the mix, that's very, very low in the context of a band. So let me show you kind of what I like to do with this. It's just some fun, simple lead stuff, but like. Yeah, and then if I add like, let's say the Chatbreaker with that on there, I love like the tones you get, like. it's fun. Play around with it, you know, just have fun with the pedals, be creative with them. Don't get so locked into what everybody says, you know, on the internet, or just try it. I don't know, you might like it. Moving on to the chorus. I rarely use this, but I really like to add a lot of the width with this chorus. So here it is without the chorus on. It's pretty massive once you turn it on, so maybe try some headphones. It's pretty cool. So I really like that sound with it. If I do, I don't know, I like to get a little weird with it too, because it does some really fun things. I'll turn the lag up a bit, get a little more depth and rate in there, and kind of turn this blend knob up a bit. But I typically have it on a very just mild kind of coarse kind of sound, just to add some width. Moving on to my H90, how I use it right now is because I don't know how to use it. I'm very lazy when it comes to like learning these pedals. I love them, I think they're super cool, but I just have a lot of like other things to do with my life. I mean, I still have the, here we go, I'll take this off. There, now I can get all kinds of cool scratches on the screen. But basically, I mean, this says Prism Vibe. It's not that at all. I have it set up for a dual delay on A, tap tempo right here, and then on B, it's a hall reverb. Again, you're probably like, well, what for? You have two other reverbs. Well, I just enjoy the way this hall sounds, like mixed with these other ones. And sometimes what I like to do at the H90 here, I like to go into the routing and change it from series to parallel. Right now I have it on parallel. It just sounds a little different with my other reverbs added into it than it does series going one into the other. Has a little bit more separation with some things. The delay mix I need to turn up a bit, but again, I'm just lazy. I think it sounds nice, it's cool. That's how I basically care about these pedals. Does it sound nice? Yeah, cool, let's use it. I would like to get a MIDI controller. Again, when I get a bigger pedal board, maybe that creation board I've been looking at, get a MIDI controller, and then that'll be much easier to utilize this in all of these other pedals together. But again, I don't have any of those things. But yeah, here's what I do have in here is a dual delay. Sounds like this. Sounds nice, you know, kind of ping pongs, does a little dance. Here is the reverb, no reverb. It's kind of nice, I like that. I have it so it tails, that's cool. But here's the delay and reverb together. Basically all I use it for, I just really like the delays, and like, again, I love the time factor and I love the space, and this has the best of all the worlds. So yeah, right now I really only utilize it for that because I'm boring. Moving on to the Blackhole, I really like it for like this amount of reverb right here, because mixed with this reverb, it's a... I've always said that like the Blackhole is just like a haunting reverb, and so I basically I use that sound and then just a bigger version of that. Yeah, I really, really, really enjoy that sound. So I use this golden, we'll come back to the Blackhole, but I use the golden reverb for basically always on plate. It's the plate 140. It just sounds so, so nice. I have a preset on here. I rarely use it. It's just it's a hall, it's just bigger. So, yeah. It's nice, but mixing these two, I just really enjoy that sound. Again, so this is the one preset, main preset I use on the Blackhole, and the golden together. Just kind of has this bass, and then you have the golden kind of like on top of it. So it sits really nice in the mix. It doesn't muddy it too much, because adding way too much reverb and delay into the mix, I'm sorry, I've said it. can muddy it. I do love delays. I do love reverbs, obviously. That's really it for the pedals, but here's kind of something that showcases all of this in a kind of a raw way, not a very produced thing, just a couple sounds with some of these things together. Hopefully you like it. Here we go. Yeah, that's cool. That's about it. This is a very straightforward pedal board. It is wired in stereo, but I can still do mono just fine. I sum it with the Blackhole. It's got a nice stereo to mono switch on the back here. And actually, when I was setting this up, it wasn't doing the dual delay thing with the left to right. And I was like, what is going on? And I was checking all the wires, and it was just some to mono, because the last time I did something was with just my D25. I play at all kinds of places. I play a lot of different venues, play at church, play at some bars, I play at weddings and other things like that. This thing does it all. I love the D20s because it's virtual out. You don't have to have a speaker if you don't want. I do like to use a speaker sometimes, but you can do both. That's amazing. You can have the speaker and send the virtual out to front of house. It's so nice for all of the venues that I play at. So this kind of setup for me works best. What kind of setup works for you? Do you like modelers? Do you like tube amps? What do you like? I have a quad Cortex I really like to use. I also use an HX Stomp, but also been playing with the Line 6 Express, the Pod Express, which we're going to be doing a review on that here soon. You won't want to miss out on that. Trust me, there's a big surprise with it. It's a very inexpensive pedal. It sounds amazing. But yeah, moving forward, we got a few more things like this coming. Do you want to see more of the H90? Do you want to see more of these overdrives? Have you not seen any of these? Maybe not the Opaque drive. This thing really kills. It rips. I love this thing. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure that you subscribe and ring that bell to be notified, so that way when we do post more of this, you will be able to, well, be notified that we posted it. And then you can watch it and be like, yes, I cannot wait. Thumbs up. Yes, more. Well, let us know. What else do you want? We have tutorials. We got all kinds of reviews coming up. We got some podcasts coming along too. So I can't wait to share that with you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.